Hey there, Smodcast supporters and listeners. It's your old pal, Fat Kev Smith. Guess what, man? It's that season. We're done making movies. We've made some movies back to back, so now we're hitting the road with some shows. That's right, man. A Smodco show is heading your way, and I'm here to give you some dates for that before we dive into this week's new episode of whatever podcast you're about to listen to of the 96 that I record daily. February 20th, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old in Vancouver at the Rio. February 21st, Kevin Smith, An Evening with Kevin Smith, that'd be me, in Seattle at the Neptune. February 27th, Hollywood Babylon with Ralph Garman at the Improv on Melrose. February 28th, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old and a Evening with Kevin Smith Q&A at the Ice House in Pasadena. That's two separate events. Tickets for all of these things are available at csmod.com. March 13th, Babble at the Improv again, Melrose. March 14th, there's a Evening with Kevin Smith Q&A and a Jay and Silent Bob Get Old in Tempe, Arizona at the Tempe Improv. March 27th, once again, we're back at the Improv on Melrose, but we're doing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old at the Improv this time. March 28th, we're doing Edumacation with me and Andy McElfresh at the Ice House in Pasadena. On April 4th, we're doing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old in Ontario, California at the Ontario Improv. On April 11th, we're doing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old and a Q&A at the Brea Improv. April 17th, I'm doing Why Bry with Brian Johnson, and doing a Evening with Kevin Smith Q&A at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. April 18th, doing Why Bry and Evening with Kevin Smith at the Palm Beach Improv in Florida. And then April 19th, we're doing Why Bry in Orlando. That's when I go see my mom. Anyway, there's a bunch of shows if you're in those neck of the woods. Vancouver, Seattle, Hollywood, Pasadena, Arizona, Tempe, Arizona, Ontario, California, Brea, California, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, or Orlando, Florida. Come see a Smodco show. Tickets, as always, available at csmod.com. And now, a free Smodco podcast for your ear pussy.
Back the fuck off. Don't even say something like that, you fucking idiot.
You don't deserve a time machine.
I ain't eating no guy's butthole chocolate if that's what you're getting at.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Tell 'em Steve Dave. Back, rejuvenated, better than ever. And we're going to do it as quickly as humanly possible because Walt and I have to get out of here.
Why do you have to get out of here?
I have to get out of here because it's possible Suzanne has a concussion, so I have to, yeah.
I like that you left her to podcast. She may have a concussion. You're like,
I'm not quite Ming, but yeah. I mean, we missed last week, so there was no way I could. 2 weeks? Yeah. That's just crazy talk.
Back in the day, I mean, we got concussions left and right, but nowadays they treat it. They kind of treat concussions with a little bit more weight, maybe too much weight.
I think so.
You know, you get your bell rung,
right?
Now you got to sit out for a month.
Yeah, you can't walk in a straight line for maybe a couple days a week, you know, and that's just the way it is. Yeah. Now today it's like, ooh, I got to go to the hospital. Ooh, somebody has to watch over me. Ooh, don't let me fall asleep for 48 straight hours.
I remember my mom telling me every time I said I got hit in the head, she'd be like, you can't go to sleep.
Right.
Yes, I don't know if that was an old wives' tale or not.
No, I think that's true. They still do that.
What is a concussion? It's just your brain gets knocked against the
brain gets rattled. Yeah, like bruises your brain, I guess.
How'd
like
she get
rattles
her bell
your brain
rung?
around. Well, we got into an argument that was definitely her fault, and she needed to be disciplined.
Corrected is Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's right. Corrected. Yeah. So I corrected her. No, we got a kitten 2 weeks ago. Princess Mitch.
Ooh.
her name is.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah, Sage wanted to name her Princess Mitch.
Is she named him after Mike's kid?
That's the only person I've ever heard aside from like certain famous people. I've never known a Mitch in real life. But no, I don't think it was in honor of Mike's kid. And the kitten was going under the couch, and you know how normally have that fabric there? Well, the last cat, that Gugok cat, remember, it was like a stray, and this was like 2 years ago, we took her in, and she ran out the door one day and never saw her again.
I thought that was just last
Gugok, no, that's a different cat. Gugok this was a stray already, and we took her in, and on Christmas, I think Pam or Edgar left the door open as they were leaving, and so the cat went outside, and then
I didn't realize that Gugok was even gone.
Yeah, Gugok lasted a couple weeks, a month maybe. But this kitten, you know, real small and a little bit nervous, so she'll go under the couch, and Gugok had done the same thing, and that like fabric, like he tore the corner off, so he would go like up and hide in there, but he was so heavy that he tore it. So now this kitten can get in there quite easily. So you have to, in order to get her out, you have to lift up the couch. Mm-hmm. And like what we're doing is like until I went and I bought fabric and staple gun and stuff, you know, I would lift up the couch and Suzanne would fish her out. What's that?
Is it going to match the couch, or is it going to look like?
It's pretty close. It's underneath though, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like a patchwork quilt now. But, you know, Suzanne would fish the cat out. And yesterday, for some reason, she decided that she was going to do it on her own. So she lifted up the couch, and I guess she was trying to hold it with one hand and grab the cat with the other. And it slipped, like the couch slipped, and it came down like one of the wooden pieces. It's like this compressed board, hit her on the bridge of the nose. Nice. I'll show you. There's the damage right there, all swollen up and shit. Yep, there it is. Not looking good, not feeling good. I had to watch her all day. You know, she was falling asleep, and every, you know, like hour or so I'd go in there to check on her, make sure she was okay. I was talking to Q earlier.
Why didn't you just go yesterday to the hospital then?
She didn't want to go to the hospital.
But now she does.
Well, she had a concussion. You can't trust her.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking we didn't know yesterday because she didn't really have any of the symptoms. But today, you know, I was looking it up, and it appears as if she has a concussion, which they really can't do much about.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know, same with the nose. It's like I don't think it's broken, but the cartilage or whatever might be ruptured or whatever it is that happens. I mean, she's in pain, you know, it hurts, but all she can do is ice it. And I mean, that's what I said. I was like, ice it, rest, and take fucking Tylenol.
But did it knock her out?
It didn't knock her out, no.
She might not have a concussion then.
Maybe not. So I'm going to go with that to spare myself yet another trip to the fucking hospital. But my grandfather, same thing happened to him, not so much with the couch and the cat, but he was doing something. He was like painting or doing something, and on a ladder outside, and he fell off the ladder and he hit the back of his head. And he was like, ow, that hurt. And then 48 hours later, he was dead because his brain swelled.
How old was he, though?
He really wasn't that old. He was like 60.
Okay,
something
you're
like
talking
that.
about your mom's grandfather.
My mom's father,
okay,
right? Yeah.
I was going to say, I remember your grandfather. He was.
Yeah, he was like 80.
Yeah, I was going to say that may play a factor if it was the 80.
Yeah, well, that happened to him. He fell down and he broke his hip, and I think it was like a week later or so. He was also dead. So if you fall down, Q, and you hit your head, if you fall down and go boom, you got to be careful, man. And that's what I said to her. I was just like, you got to be more careful. I was like, just wait until I get back. And that made her mad at me. Like, she starts yelling at me for that.
Wait, before the couch hit her in the head?
After the couch.
Well, she was probably like, I just got hit in the fucking head.
I mean, it wasn't seconds afterwards. It was like a couple hours. I was like, don't do stuff like that when I'm not around, because if it had like knocked you out or like, you know, hit, like slammed you against the wall, it's like there's no one there to help you out, you know, to make sure that you're not dead. But I was telling Q earlier, there's a woman who, she's a neighbor, a couple doors down. I also heard update on the stalker lady.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to do with me, but they have laundry rooms within the complex. And I guess someone had left their laundry in a little bit longer than this woman deemed appropriate. So she poured bleach all over the person's clothes. And not only did that, but waited until they came back
To see the reaction.
and just to be like, next time, take your stuff out. No, look, that is annoying. It's so rude when people do that. They just leave it there for hours. I can't stand it. At worst, I take it out and put it on the table right there. I'm like, I don't have all day. If I'm going to do my wash, I got to do my wash. But to pour bleach and then wait around to be like, what are you going to do?
Q, this is where you count some of our blessings.
Yeah.
One of those being, two being a washer and dryer inside your house, right?
I have those.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? We don't ever have to worry about stuff like that.
I used to live like that.
You never realize it,
It's awful. I mean, it's literally
community washer and dryer.
100 feet away. It might as well be a community shower.
I was going to say, I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you said it.
It's disgusting.
It is
the only time we
gross.
ever had that was when Brian and I lived together in L.A. There was like the community washer.
Yeah.
But when I had my own apartment, I would just go to my parents' house.
Because you don't know what the person in front of the load. Maybe someone got sick on the sheets.
Fecal matter. Or they use bleach and they forget to hit the bleach button.
Deviant sex on those sheets.
You can't.
Yeah, the Hershey people.
What do you mean? Like people butt fucking and then wiping their cocks off on the sheets?
And how does that get on the sheets, though?
Well, if they poop on each other and it rolls onto the sheets.
You think there's a lot of fetishism?
I didn't realize it was that.
That prevalent, right?
Yeah.
You're not afraid of that? You don't live in fear of that?
No.
When you go to hotels, you don't worry about
My concern stops at the annoyance of having to go out in 0-degree weather to fucking wash
so you go to
towels.
hotels, you're afraid
I
to
worry about
sleep
what
on
happens.
your.
I do it all the time anyway. I have to do it, but I just imagine just people.
But you always remove the comforter immediately whenever we go to hotel.
What about the pillowcase?
It's all disgusting. Man. Positive, unless it's Tom Brady, I really get worried about it. I do.
Do you think there was any level of that kind of shenanigans going on at Tom Brady's chateau?
Down in Costa Rica.
Or do you think it was just missionary?
With their shit stains all over his.
They're rich people, man. They have to keep pushing those highs. Got to get higher. You know what I mean? And they may experiment. I don't know.
They're chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl's not enough. Win an MVP.
That's my point, Walter. All right. Well, I've won the Super Bowl. Now what?
The not so Super Bowl's next, baby.
Giselle's like, what's that?
And then a week later, I check in.
Giselle, honey, think of it more as a sewer bowl than a Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. Wrapping it around and getting into a not so Super Bowl reference.
Yeah,
That's nice.
That's well done. That's why people listen to Wait, just go back to the bleach lady.
Okay.
What happened? What are the repercussions?
I don't know. I did that. I didn't find out.
Because at that point, you got to take revenge. You can't just let
you
that
got
go.
to do something, right?
You gotta do something.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it just
I'm sure it's just so stunning.
Pussy.
When you walk in and someone is like, not only did I bleach your clothes, but I'm here to fucking tell you I bleached your clothes. The average person, I mean, I don't know who it was, must very well be like, I'm going to back away slowly.
Well, I would find out when she was doing laundry. I would stake that out, and then the second she walked away, there would be
bleach
more
her
bleach
shit
in there. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I would fill her thing with bleach.
Yeah.
And then
nothing but I tried to bleach a pair of jeans once back in the 80s, and I put too much in, and it will eat your clothes away. It will dissolve them. You put enough bleach in there.
I get her.
Yeah. So we have a neighbor who, they're not friends, she and Suzanne, more acquaintances. The woman is probably 60 almost, somewhere around there. And she's has to be maybe the most computer illiterate person on earth. And she's constantly asking Suzanne for help. and like questions that are being answered repeatedly, the same questions, the same fucking bullshit. And I guess Suzanne said that she would help her with something today. And the woman comes to the door, and she'll just keep calling her. Like if Suzanne doesn't pick up her phone, this woman will just keep calling for shit like 60 or so, somewhere around there, for stuff like can we use two iPads in the same room? Like will they erase each other? Like the stupidest fucking questions.
There are no stupid questions, Brian.
I mean, I've always been told that, and I've always fucking disagreed.
But you're talking about somebody who, if it was not from the age, she's on that curve where she's missed out on growing up with computers or being in a prime age to deal with learning this new technology.
This newfangled technology that's been around for 20 years now.
I think it's admirable that Suzanne has taken her under her wing. I think you should treat her. That's nice. You should give her a little props for that.
Who, Suzanne?
Yeah.
Oh no, I do think it's nice of Suzanne. Yeah. But the woman came to the door today, and she said, "Hey, is Susie here?" And I said, "Yeah, she's laying down though because of yesterday. When she got hit in the head." And the woman is looking at me and she goes, "She got scratched by a cat." I said, "No, she didn't get scratched." I said, the couch fell on her. And she's looking at me and she goes, "But she said she'd help me. I have a lot of paperwork I need to do." And I swear to Christ, I was so close to being like, "Take your paperwork and shove it up your fucking cunt and never fucking come back here, you fucking bitch." I have I not been like in a pretty decent mood for the...
You have, yeah.
Like unreasonably so, like strangely so.
A couple of weeks almost, yeah.
Yeah, like I haven't felt anger. I haven't really felt like super anxious. And in that moment, it
all came rushing back.
Yeah. It won't last. I know it won't last. But I was like, I didn't know what kind of relationship Suzanne wanted to maintain with this woman, so I didn't say anything. But I was like, what a piece of shit that, like, you don't ask if she's like, oh, okay, well, tell her I hope she's okay. Or is there anything I can do or whatever,
Well, is it paperwork or is it computer work?
And I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. It's like she has some job and I'm like, how'd you get the job if you can't work fucking computers? It is the most basic shit. And she's constantly saying that I took it over to Tom or whoever the guy's name is, her computer repairman, who the computer's never fixed. The last time she brought it in, somebody stole a little piece off of it, some card. And when
is it an iPad or is it a computer?
She has a PC and then she also has an iPad. Can they both be online at the same time? Then she wanted to use my network because I guess she couldn't figure out why hers wasn't working.
So she needed your password?
Yeah, I said.
You wouldn't give it to her?
Fuck no way.
Well, what's with that attitude?
No way.
Why?
Because it's not you that's living next to me.
It's your neighbor, though.
I don't give a shit.
You may need something for her one day. You got to think more of in a community mindset.
Yeah. If there was ever any paybacks, then maybe. But she's the type that
you could give it to her and then change the password tomorrow just so she can get her paperwork.
Yeah, I should go to that trouble for her. This person who didn't even give a shit that a fucking couch fell on Suzanne's head. All she cared about was like, oh, well, she said she was going to help me. I'm like, she can fucking hardly stand up. She's all dizzy and shit. It looks like she got fucking hit by a car. Like, back the fuck off. Don't even say something like that, you fucking idiot. It enraged me. And then Q was like, you got to burn the whole complex to the ground. And I said, that's what I'm doing. I'm lighting a match on my way out because I'm moving soon. I can't take it, man. It's too white trash.
Every story you tell that place is a horror show. There's never a rainbow coming out of that place. It's always fucking horrors.
The other day, the people across from me who I've been really nice to, like, remember I told you I let her use my bathroom. She has all those problems and shit. Go out to the mailbox. Now, the way the mailboxes are set up, the numbers are in the front, but like the locks are in the back. So the mail person comes by and they just, pop them into the little pigeonholes and then lock it back up. It's like one big door. Obviously, they put the person across the way, they put their mail into our little pigeonhole thing. and I don't know why, but they had this medication. It was just medication with their name on it. It wasn't in a bag or anything. So, like sometimes like you get an envelope and it's inside another envelope because it's all fucked up. But I don't know why, but this person's medication was in our thing. So I knock on the door and the woman won't come to the door for some reason, the lady. And I said, all right, well, just tell your husband through the door, tell your husband when he gets home, I got your mail. She comes to the door. I give it to her. She's looking at me like I'm a known serial killer or 15 minutes later, the cops come to my house. They called the cops on me, saying that like I was fiddling with their mail. And I was like, what the fuck? And I knew the cop, thankfully.
Did the lady let you use your bathroom?
I let her use my bathroom. Yeah, she has like some sort of medical issue, and I guess she fucking stuffed up their pipes, and she's going to work on mine next.
Disregard my community comment.
That
community doesn't deserve a Brian Johnson.
This is some crazy community I'm living with down there, man. It's
gotta get out of there.
Yeah,
gotta get out of there.
It's awful. That woman, I was so convinced that she was going to come back that I disabled our doorbell. Like I took the intercom down just because I know as soon as she sees my car gone, she'll come over and start trying to get Suzanne to come over and help her. I'm like, fuck off.
Oh, I wish you had never sold that house, my friend.
I know. Oh God.
If I could go back in time, like forget about like stopping Hitler or fucking any of that stuff, I would just go back to you and be like, dude, you cannot sell this house.
Whoever bought it after me, I would go back and kill them as a baby.
You don't deserve a time machine.
I suppose not. Where's that paper? Did you have that paper, Walt?
It's a paper.
Oh yeah, the newspaper.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Did you have something?
Well, I did.
Ahead.
I wanted to ask you about Valentine's Day, both of you guys.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Just passed.
I never celebrate it. I never.
You don't get into it at any point in your life, have you?
I
acknowledged it at least.
Immediately around the high school era of my life, I would do something. But early on in adulthood, I was like, this fucking scam. And I'll tell you what, I don't want to be with a woman that wants to make a big deal out of Valentine's Day. That's not.
So what would you consider a big deal? Like no card?
I don't even want it mentioned.
Borrowed sentiments from some fucking douche at Hallmark.
Yeah, like fuck off. I got no time. I got no time for it.
Busy
Valentine's Day
joking.
is the biggest chump fucking festival that mankind has come up with yet. What a chump!
It's up there. At least Mother's Day, it's like you can honor your mom and
Isn't
stuff.
Isn't it the same thing though?
It's definitely like they say a Hallmark holiday, but there's just something I guess a little bit more. Unless your mom's a scumbag, there's no reason.
You know why? Because my mother doesn't really care that much about Mother's Day, but a mother might put importance on it. So for that reason, then I could see sending your mother flowers and stuff like that. But in a woman that you choose for life, on that checklist has got to be, I don't care about Valentine's Day.
That's
for me.
That's top of the list.
It's right up there.
It's right up there. Wow.
It's for me. I don't.
It's above.
I know you're only.
It's above even proving that you're a female. I said it's above even proving that you're a female. You cannot care about Valentine's Day.
So, but I was on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean anyway. We shot an episode of Practical Jokers on the cruise ship.
Yeah,
this past week.
It was like the Love Boat. Was there a lot of romance going on because of the Valentine's Day holiday?
No, they put up some fucking they did put up a couple of hearts on the walls, but they really didn't make a big deal out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Nothing. No.
No gift. No chocolates.
Nah. Nah.
When's the last time you gave Suzanne chocolates for Valentine's Day?
Probably never. Yeah, I don't. And I'm not.
Walt just
And I don't feel like that staunchly like, God damn it, where's my soapbox? You know, I got to come out against this Valentine's Day thing.
But I know you. I mean, you're making a statement that at whose cost, though, right?
She knows how I feel. Really, she's the only one that needs to know how I feel about it, I guess. Who the fuck else cares?
Well, there's these new.
That's what she said this year. She's like, so you still don't like it, huh?
It was February 14th, 11:59. She waiting all day. I guess you still
salivating for chocolates and shit.
Wake up.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not getting any chocolates.
Huh? Yeah, you guessed right. I did get something for Sage, though, because she makes a big deal about it, so I got a little something for her.
Oh,
for Sage, you know.
That's nice.
Well, where are you headed with it?
Well, there's these new things I saw. We went out to eat.
Okay.
At a
which you do 6 days a week anyway.
Yeah, our favorite local place. Exchange some gifts.
Oh, that's nice.
They broke in the Friendlies and cooked themselves a meal.
Closed Friendlies.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this? It's all the rage. I wouldn't say it's all the rage, but it's at the top of the list of flavor of the month Valentine's thing. Like, you know, I'm sure next year it won't be at top of the list, but it was the chocolate buttholes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, it's chocolate.
It's you could do a mold of it.
Well, it's.
What do you mean chocolate butthole?
What they do is, Brian, you can sit down with your legs over your head, and they take a mold.
Which I do often.
What's that?
Which I do often.
Right, and they take a mold of your asshole, and then they make it into little chocolate treats.
And people.
Well, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about what
no,
you're
you can.
About.
Somebody showed. We had to talk about it one day at work. We were all laughing about it.
Because what I'm seeing here is you ordered it, and it is a mold from an actual butthole. And I want to know if this plays into a factor if you would eat it or not eat it.
Well, I mean, I sleep in bed sheets in hotels. I might as well eat chocolate assholes.
But now, granted, it's 100% pure chocolate. There's nothing wrong, but it's just the mold from a certain person's butthole.
You don't know who that person is?
Well, yeah, I'm going to tell you who it is.
Oh, okay.
Will that matter who it is before you eat it or not eat it?
I ain't eating no guy's butthole chocolate if that's what you're getting at.
What if it was Precious? You know, Gabrielle Sidibe or the...
Yeah. I mean, does it taste like chocolate? Does it taste like Precious?
It's the best
chocolate.
It's the most... Oh, okay. You mean his scenario? But it's pure Belgian chocolate, and it's in the shape of the cast of the chocolate butthole is from the man who started the company, Magnus Irvin.
Ah.
So
what kind of fucking sick maniac is this guy that like he's like, I know what I'm going to do. I mean, basically, I'm going to start a business in which people will pay
and people are paying
to eat chocolate replicas
$40
of my
a
butthole.
box.
And how many come in a box?
For just $38.95, Magnus Irvin will ship you 5 boxes of white milk and dark chocolates. White milk
chocolate
and dark chocolate. So three different kinds.
I get it.
You know, I mean, I guess any chocolate would do if you're not haven't gotten chocolates at all. So maybe next year.
Yeah, Suzanne's like over the moon about it. She's like, you mean better than nothing?
Why are people giving that?
I think it's more like that thing. Like, look how crazy, isn't it? It's like a Spencer's gift kind of jokey thing, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think young people would be like so like falling all over themselves laughing as you open up the chocolate, and I guess it would also take you a couple seconds to realize what it was.
Yeah.
You know, it may take
most people I imagine
hours.
haven't been eye to eye with an asshole.
Right,
Can I see it again?
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. I don't know if anybody would even realize what that was when you opened it up.
Not in a million years would I have guessed that's what it was. I would think like it melted or something. It looks like it melted.
I guess that could be part of the joke as your friends see you like chowing down one chocolate after
Look at
the
him eat
other.
those assholes.
Yeah. You wiping your lips, the chocolate from your lips. I think that's where the joke comes in, Brian. You're not going to realize it right away what it is.
Right. It's only after I ate an entire box of chocolate assholes. I realized the joke's on me. That would be pretty sweet, I guess.
That'd be worth $40.
I also got a second kitten, Walt. I stopped by yesterday, because Princess Mitch was
lonely
a little bit. Like I always feel like a cat likes a buddy, right? They like to wrestle and they like to pal around.
They hunt in solitude, but they live in packs. So yeah, they are.
How does that work?
Well, when they go to eat, they all split off and go in their own direction, but they come back afterwards to chill out.
Yeah, and they clean each other and everything.
Yeah. There's a hierarchy with cats. Like they form. I
imagine
groups.
there's a hierarchy in every form of creature, isn't there?
I don't know enough about creatures, I guess, to say that.
I bet you there has to be, or else then it's
buffalo.
just chaos.
There's a buffalo hierarchy.
Oh, I guarantee you there is.
Yeah, they don't just run free.
Probably not.
All right. Well,
there's a boss buffalo somewhere.
Someone's always the boss of you.
There's always someone's always the boss of me. That's for sure. I agree with that.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe that you still have a boss.
Dude, I've said it before. The second you take somebody else's money to do anything, you have bosses.
I told Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. I don't want to forget this. I told Brian that I realized last week that you are on a different plateau than what I once thought of you as.
Oh, no, I don't know if I like that.
I didn't like it either.
Well, what makes you say that?
I went in, it was, I mentioned that my dog had to, I don't think I mentioned, but anyway, my wife had to stay with the dogs, and I took my kids out for dinner.
Okay.
And my wife said, pick me up a sliced pizza on the way home.
Right.
And I went into a strange pizza parlor that I'd never been into before, and there's these two guys.
You just imagine him looking around like wide-eyed and shit.
Weird shadows in the corner of the pizzeria.
I don't know the pizza makers.
Sure,
I don't know who they are in there. I'd never been in this pizza parlor before, and I just grabbed a slice, and I wanted to go in and grab a slice real quick. And before they would even wait on me, they demanded that I watch with them what they were watching on TV. And it was Impractical Jokers.
Oh, get out of here!
And they had no idea. They have no idea that what's going like.
Right.
So they're like, hold on, bro. You got to sit down and watch this. This motherfucker is so funny, and he's talking about you. It was so surreal.
Get the fuck out!
It was so
weird.
surreal, and I was just like, oh yeah, he's funny.
That asshole.
I go, he's
He's
funny.
chocolate buttholes.
I go, and they were just like, I forget what it was. It was an old one though, because you didn't have a beard.
Right.
And they were these two guys were fucking crying.
Really?
And they put your show above serving me and making
Walt's Pizza. Yeah.
Like they were like they don't know that, like they had no idea. They're like, we're not going to come to the counter and take your money until this segment is over.
Wow.
And I realized that like.
This douche is holding you up.
Huh?
This douche is holding you up.
No. I realize that like you're on a rocket that's still going up.
I hope so.
You're on a rocket ship, baby.
Well, I still have bosses. Somebody else is driving that rocket ship.
You're not the captain?
No. I'm like the engineer. Not even the engineer.
No, you're in the crew.
You're fucking Major Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not ground control. Knock it off.
Well, I'm sorry I came in the way between you and your pizza.
No, I wasn't mad at all. I just thought it was weird. I thought it was so strange. I could have said to those guys, I know that guy.
Right.
I'm really good friends with that guy. They were like, yeah, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. They wouldn't have believed me for a second.
Yeah, and then it only invites more conversation that you don't want to really have. So it's like,
I would have told them anything. They could ask me anything about Q, but I don't think they would even believe me though. I would have thought they would have thought I was full of shit if I was to be like, I see him every week.
Right.
And they wouldn't believe me though.
Well, there you go.
They were in love with you.
Really?
They would have.
You can get free pizza.
There was like a Frankie Valli photo up there, and if they had room, and I said I was like that spot's reserved for Q when he comes in, right? And they're like, hell yeah.
They're just waiting, yeah.
Sinatra's coming down when Q walks through.
They just slap it off the wall.
They were enthralled. They were like crying.
Really?
Yeah.
How was the pizza?
I didn't get one for me. It was from my wife.
Oh, okay.
I just told her the story. She thought it was amusing.
Oh, that is fun.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh well, I'm still, still just
Joe Average,
just an ant, boys.
Yeah,
Just
I saw somebody online the other day on Twitter. They were telling someone else that Walt naming the listener base ants was insulting and looked down on people. And this is a guy who's
doesn't listen to the show.
No, he does. Considers himself a fan. He's like, I'm no ant though. I didn't bother arguing with him. Somebody else set him straight, but I was like, no, Walt was talking. I think about us. Yeah.
Not anymore. I'm only talking about you now.
I think okay.
Q, I saw proof. Pizza parlor, and he ain't no ant no more.
I'm in the ant, baby.
Right.
I'm in the colony.
I was prematurely a little big for my britches, so Walt put me in my place. Walt, when we grew up, we had Walter Cronkite, the most trusted man in America.
I don't recall ever watching an episode of Walter Cronkite though growing up though.
But you do remember remember seeing him. Like I can't remember what network he was on, CBS or whatever. So they were saying that the equivalent of today would have been Brian Williams
of NBC.
What's your take on this? This Brian Williams stuff.
He got caught embellishing a story.
Well, some may say embellishing, others may say lying.
I really do think it's open to interpretation, though.
The story I heard now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the story I heard was that he said he was that he took RPG fire while in a helicopter, right? And I guess they had to land, and then they were in a sandstorm for a couple days or whatever. But in reality, the chopper ahead of them, and it was ahead of them by about an hour, was the one who took the RPG fire. It was like a chopper convoy, right? A chopper convoy. And, so here's a guy, hour behind him. There's Brian Williams, hour behind him. An hour.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Right.
Oh, I did not hear that there was that much of it. I thought it was like he could see at least the streaks of light.
Right. And you know what? If it didn't hit you, you can say like, yeah, we were under fire. I mean, if you're that close, you know how sometimes they fly real close and shit. Who knows who these fucking numbnuts are aiming at? So it possibly could have been Brian Williams, but
some bad aim if it was an hour.
Yeah, an hour behind that.
Reaction time. They were shooting at a helicopter that flew over an hour ago.
Yeah. So he got suspended with no pay.
6 months, right?
Yeah. Do you ever trust him again? Does anyone ever trust him again?
Did you ever trust him to begin with?
No, I personally did not. But a lot of people still do believe what they read in the news or, see on TV. I mean, do you remember in the 70s and even into the early 80s, before cable TV was popularized, the nightly news at 6 o'clock, 2, 4, and 7 was Bible law. That was
sure.
That's how you found out what was happening. That and the fucking shitty Asbury Park Press. But they don't have that anymore.
I'm surprised that this is on your radar. I didn't think that this was something that would capture your attention.
Well, I went to the bagel store one day and I saw it was on the front cover. That's how I found out about it. It was on the front cover of the New York Post.
That he was getting suspended.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it a slow news day? You have to think. I didn't think this was that big a deal.
He's one of the biggest names in news, so I thought it was a big deal.
You thought it was too?
Yeah.
You were surprised by the story?
I liked him. I always liked
him.
him. I liked him. I thought he was on 30 Rock a few times. He was funny on that.
He was real good on that.
Like a good sense of humor.
He got caught more than once, though, it seems, fibbing.
Yeah.
Because then once they found that out, of course, there are people who go back and they're like, ooh, this.
Why do you think he has to do it? Do you think it's just like, I want some cred?
I think it's human nature to like try and make yourself look a little bit better than you are. He was peacocking a little bit. Got caught,
strutting about.
Yeah, we all peacock from time to time. His is just on record, and he's in an industry that like is supposed to value honesty, which is all bullshit anyway. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, to me, him saying anything about rockets hitting a helicopter is no different than the slants that the media put on stories and their points of views anyway. So it's all bullshit.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, people will come down.
Well, I think it's a bit different than a slant, though. I think he's outright lying, though, that he saw a fucking body float by during Katrina. That is an out-and-out lie, and saying that he was in a hotel where gangs were trying to break into the hotel, though.
Yeah, but if you're in an industry where you're supposed to be impartially delivering the news, the second you don't do that is the second you're coloring things, which is akin to lying anyway.
Is it a case of just out and out arrogance? I could say whatever I want, and no one's going to say anything, because you have to think that, like, you're going to tell lies like that. Someone could be like, "Hey, you're full of shit."
Maybe a little bit.
And that's a big one, man.
Right,
I mean,
it's huge.
That's not like if he was down at Katrina and he could be like, "Ooh, I saw a body float by." It seems like it would be much more difficult to disprove than
well, they tried.
My helicopter got shot by a fucking rocket.
They tried to disprove that. They looked at where the quarter was flooded to see if there was enough water.
There wasn't. Right.
There wasn't. I thought there was.
I thought there was.
Oh, I had read that there was.
I thought who knows what to believe? What you're reading?
I've thought about this a little bit. And I think what comes next for him is a Maury Povich type show. Like a light, like not news related.
Really?
Anymore.
That fucking base and fucking degrading.
Where else is he gonna go?
Like, you fathered fucking 16 kids.
Yep.
And that kind of level of
maybe slightly above that, but in the same family.
And they still do it. It's I don't know if these are new shows or there are this many fucking people out there who are like, it could be one of 9 guys. And it's so crazy. It's always the same reaction. I was flipping around the other day. It was right before I watched, what is it, that show you recommended, Q? 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
And Maury was on. And I got to say, like, it did, I don't know why, but when the woman comes out and it's always white trash or a black lady. Yeah. It's always that. It's never anyone who seems to have any self-respect at all. And this black lady is screaming, and they always point at pictures of the baby. Here are the similarity. I look at a baby and I'm like, not in a million years could I tell who the fuck this baby belonged to. Right. Like, how can you say that, like, they got the same nose, they got the same eyes, they got the same lips?
Sometimes it's pretty
once in a while, but I mean, I whenever they're pointing it out, I'm like, I don't see it. Right. But the same thing always happens.
Reaction, to someone saying that baby looks like you or something, maybe.
Who from it? Yeah.
Like him, yeah.
Oh, so because I'm a Maury candidate. Yeah. I would love to go on Maury. Remember what show was I going to go on? It was years and years and years ago. It was that Roger Lodge dating show?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
what was that?
Obsessed with it for a while.
Oh, I wanted to be on it. And I was going to be the most obnoxious prick of all time.
It was one where they did the pop up. It was a real tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
It was actually entertaining.
I can't remember what the name of it was. But anyway, so
Blind Date.
Blind Date, yeah. That would have been phenomenal.
You were obsessed. It was like a 3-week period where you couldn't think of anything besides going on Blind Date.
And I didn't follow through. I really regret not having done that. Anyway, so the lady's insisting that the guy is the father. Insisting. And, of course, it turns out that he's not the father. And when they're that loud and obnoxious, I always root for the guy because the guy comes out and he's acting civil, at least, Yeah. And it's like, you're not the father. And then the woman screams and either falls on the ground or
Goes after him.
runs backstage and down these hallways that look like they're just fucking catacombs that never end.
Driving people through
I'm just picturing Brian Williams having to fucking sit there and have to put up with this is the level of his career now. I don't think he would do it, Q. I don't think he would do something on this. I think even Maury Povich struggles with a gun in his mouth at the end of shooting days for that show.
He was on what was that show that he was on? Remember, it was on Channel 5.
Oh, First Edition or something.
Yeah, something edition.
Magazine show.
Yeah, something edition.
Current Affair.
Current Affair. Yeah, which was a step hardly a half a step above the Maury show. Because the Maury show is exactly the same thing every single show.
It's exploitation.
Right. Yeah.
At its lowest. I don't think Brian Williams. The dude is probably well off. He would not need to take a job of that level.
He's too highbrow. Even he's just like, look, okay, maybe I lied about a couple things. Now? Brian Williams, he's got to be in his early 50s, right?
That's it?
I would think so.
Yeah, I don't think he's that old.
Think about it. We're 47, man. So
I thought, I don't know. I thought he was older. I thought he was a little bit older. I think he could retire, right? Do you need to just what is causing him to be like, can't I just walk away?
He's
I wonder how much money he has.
This guy must have a fortune.
He's
if I was him,
he's 55.
That's what I do.
Walk away, right? I don't need to put myself through this, right. And then to go on a show where I'm like,
you are not the father.
Grilling
right
people about their paternity.
Well, he didn't say he was going to do it. That was just my speculation.
Yeah, I probably would disagree with that. Unless he develops a serious drug problem over these next 6 months.
He can't go back? He can't go back to news?
Nah, I don't think he can come back either.
Yeah.
Matt Lauer.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, our society is one that...
They're very forgiving.
They may not even remember when 6 months comes back.
Yeah, but people in the industry will remember. And why? Why would they... Why would a news program do that to themselves? Put themselves in that thing where it's like anything they said could be like, yeah, but Brian Williams is the one who said it, so why the fuck would I believe you? Just get some new talent.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you got to say that about anything. This is going back a couple of months. I saw the cover of the Post. It was in Syria, and some little boy, like 10, 11, allegedly ran out into this open area to save this little girl, like drag her to safety as, there's sniper fire and all this other shit. Now, this is a front page story in the New York Post, and it turns out it was fake and made by some indie people who are like, well, we just want to bring attention to the Syrian war, which really is like, we want to bring attention to ourselves. And I think it's just indicative of the state of the industry where everyone is so afraid to not be first with a story that they're like, fuck it. And they just go and they run the story regardless, Rolling Stone, that recent thing with the college rape case where they
oh, that's right. They had to do a retraction.
They had to do a retraction on it because they never bothered asking the guys. They never bothered interviewing them. Right. Any of that shit. You're just like, you can't believe anything unless you see it. You can't believe it.
Now, when you grow up and you aspire to become a reporter, mm-hmm. All that comes with it, that altruistic kind of mentality of I'm going to bring the truth to the world. Sure. I'm going to uncover wrongs. I'm going to yada yada yada. And my dream would be to work on a nightly newscast. And then you're hit with the fucking reality is like, fuck that. We can't get no time for news. It's going to fucking snow. So for the next fucking week, all they talk about is fucking impending snow or if it snowed. Right. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is not news anymore.
Right.
But around here, it's like, if it's going to snow.
Is it not? It is insane, isn't it? The amount that not only do they talk about it on TV, but the amount you hear, if you go to a convenience store, that's all people want to talk about.
You would think a nuclear snow was coming.
Yeah, like a nuclear winter,
the face of the earth. The way people talk about snow, it is fuck. And I must admit, I have to in my circles. are obsessed with snow when snow comes.
Oh, I admit it too.
I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
It's enough to make you go like, I can't believe that this is all there is.
Yeah, like how are you commenting on this so much?
Shit going on. There's some serious fucking shit going on.
Yeah, but the serious shit doesn't
It's so far away from it. I know. I understand it.
Like the snow affects me.
Brian Williams lied.
Some motherfucker gets beheaded.
There's some bad shit going on, Q, right? What do you think of the current state of the world today, Q?
I think about it, and you
don't want to think about it, right? After a while, you're just like, I don't want to think about this. It's so horrible.
Yes, that's the way I feel now. I never ever read the news.
I do, and I'm like, I since all this ISIS shit started, I've started paying attention.
Right, it's hard not to, right?
It's hard not to, but then I think about like, all right, what was the Spanish Inquisition? Like who was it? It was. How many people died in it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And how long was the Spanish Inquisition?
While you're talking, I'll look it up, but I think it was tens of thousands.
Right.
You know, and it was the Catholics, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was torture. And it was the same thing, torture and rape and public flayings and horror. The only difference between then and now is we didn't know about it on the other side of the fucking world. That shit was going on in another continent, in another country.
That's the only difference? You wouldn't think that we've evolved from fucking you don't think that
obviously
civilizations have tried to move and become more educated and more?
I think that clearly we haven't. Some places haven't. So shit's been going on since the fucking beginning of humanity. And this shit's just
that's a reason to not. I don't want to say because I don't want to say that you're. But
I don't know what conclusion I've come to.
Yeah,
yet.
The conclusion is so hard, right?
I don't have a conclusion.
There's no answers.
But
it's same shit, different religion.
And to Muslims, right? As because some people are so knee jerk and they're like, "Fuck Muslims, we gotta wipe Muslims out," and it's just like I don't think
turn them to glass.
That's not really the answer. You can turn the region to glass.
Yeah. If the fucking Spanish can Inquisition people, then why the fuck are we not turning the ragheads to glass?
Yeah.
Can I just get a slice of pizza? But it is so fucking. And I can't stand the new drum that they're beating of like, they gotta call it radical Islam. They won't call it that. And I'm like, there's a fucking reason.
Semantics.
There's a reason you're not, man, because you're trying not to inflame and just go down the road that ISIS wants you to go down, which is they want you to admit that you're in a war against Islam because they'll just leave out radical.
Right.
And they're fulfilling prophecies then.
Right. Well, I read that they want to bring on Armageddon, right? Like that's ISIS's point.
That's what and there's a new article in the Atlantic that I looked up, and it's some fucking bizarre.
Yeah. They won't do it. They're not going to pull it off.
They want to bring on Armageddon?
Yeah. I think that's their goal. Whatever their version of Armageddon
is. Where the West will attack and they'll be surrounded. And Jesus will come, but Jesus will be on their side, and it'll be the end of times.
Of course, yeah, of course. Religion is like the fucking IMDb board. Everybody else is wrong, and you're right. You know,
right, you're right.
I tweeted something about it yesterday, and I said I would love to believe that Ash Wednesday is the result of God smoking weed and saying, you know what, man, I want to fucking see how far I can get these guys to go. I'm going to tell them if they put ashes on their head on Wednesday that I'm going to fucking love them. Like, it's nutty. It's nutty. I walk around with...
It's nutty, but it's pretty benign.
It's completely benign, but is it any less nutty than... what say like an Islamic person would do, or a fucking
stone people?
Well, no. Okay, radical is yeah.
No,
I mean, did you get ashes on your head?
What, recently?
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, you know me. You know I wasn't fucking taking time out of my day to get ashes on my head. If I did, I was going to send you a picture of it immediately.
I saw a very young girl. I was in Barnes & Noble buying something. I saw a very young girl with ashes on her head, and I was like, she's trying to curry favor with God? By putting a cigarette out on her head?
I think you and I, Brian, have just missed the boat on faith and religion. And
Yeah. Q got in trouble for that recently. Did you know that?
No.
Did I?
No.
Yeah, your Batman Jesus comment.
Oh God.
Where I came out
You get in
against
trouble a lot.
I came out against him publicly.
Trouble's not the right
You've been
word.
getting in trouble a lot. I've been seeing you getting spanked left and right
He does get spanked often,
I don't
right?
get it. By who?
by friends.
Oh, you talking about Brian Lynch? Yeah, he's really supporting the female Ghostbusters movie. But I don't think
Because you can't have an opinion on that either.
I don't know that Brian was coming after me. I think that somebody in that conversation.
You think he got hacked?
No. I think Brian was responding to someone else, and I was linked into it,
Right.
and it just seemed like that. But it's yeah.
You're allowed to not like the idea that they're
Well, that was
that they
my
cast they cast Ghostbusters with women. You're allowed to be like, oh well, I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, my point-
that's okay.
to Brian was it's not intrinsically sexist that you don't like that they cast 4 females in those roles. Like
And to say that they're all funny is subjective. Like
that's subjective, right?
you know, because honestly, I find it's Kristen Wiig. Is she?
Kristen Wiig.
Okay, I think that she has done some funny stuff. Melissa McCarthy, I do think is funny. I honestly think she's funny, and I like to watch her and stuff. The other 2 people, I don't know their names, and I think one is on Saturday Night Live.
They're both on Saturday Night Live, and I'm not familiar with their work.
With
at all.
either one, yeah.
I've asked Sal about it because he keeps up with it, and he says they're both very funny.
Are they?
He has faith in them.
Okay.
To me, it's like Ghostbusters was such a. This was my point to Lynch was such a male sensibility movie that like people are reacting to the loss of that, not to like women ain't funny, women can't do this shit. It's just like Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It's the movie was drenched in a very male sensibility movie, so it's just like the loss of that. I don't like that. I like that.
Some girl tweeted about it, and I answered her. She, was a picture of she's young, very young, like 5, and her brothers, her friends or whatever, they were like 6, 7 years old, and she said like, finally, I won't have to dress like the secretary on Halloween. To which I tweeted like, well, your parents could have let you dress however you wanted. Who was stopping you for the past 30 odd years from dressing up like a Ghostbuster? And there are tons of female Ghostbuster costumes. Sure. Most of them, their boobs are hanging out and stuff and all that. But
there was
to sit there and be like, to act as if like it was forbidden, as if it were,
people take things too far.
Radical Islam or something.
There was a female Ghostbusters
silly.
on the cartoons. They did it.
It's not canon.
Yeah, but who gives? But this isn't canon either. It's not a third.
You don't think it won't be considered canon?
It's not a third. It's not the third movie in the series. They're rebooting it. They're pretending the first 2 movies didn't exist, and that is actually what I have a bigger issue with. Like, why do that? Like, why not make it a continuation?
How do you know that?
It's fucking Wally West all over again. Because he said it. He said it. He goes, I'm not making a third movie. I'm restarting it. And it's like, I don't want to say it.
You better watch it. Because I saw you take some slings and arrows for it. I don't.
But I thought what I was saying, and
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I'm saying you better watch it because I don't want to see you.
You don't want to walk into that pizza place.
This sexist motherfucker! I'm watching this shit.
Turn the view on.
My point was, and I'm on the View too.
Yeah. Fuck, he's everywhere.
My point
why do they talk like him?
I ended up not making it to Lynch because I just wanted out of the conversation because I didn't.
What happened?
The point that I even stopped. I stopped. I just bailed out of the conversation. Was that if you had taken,
you can't win.
People keep holding up Bridesmaids as like the women. Women are funny. Women are funny, and Bridesmaids is funny. Fine, it's like that's fine. But if you pull out the women and replace them with men, that's a totally different movie. They don't make the same movie.
But also, it's like for every bridesmaid, it's like, okay, what about the sweetest thing? That
hunk of shit. But
come on.
But it's because he made Bridesmaid and all that stuff. But I'm like, the difference between Bridesmaids and The Hangover is the difference to me between Ghostbusters as it was and the female Ghostbusters. And I don't find Bridesmaids, it's not for me. Like, I watch it and I don't think it's hysterical.
But I think that the argument, if I'm going to play devil's advocate,
yeah,
you
got to give that Ghostbusters a chance before you come out and say something.
Well, I don't have to do anything. This is America. I vote with my dollars, so I don't have to go see it. I don't have to give him my money.
But you could be labeled a bit of a PIG by some people, like, because of that stance. Because you're not going to go see it based solely on the fact that...
Thank you for cleaning up your language.
Yeah, but think about the logical extension of what you're saying, and this is why it becomes a slippery slope. So anybody who does it... So by what you're saying, all American males are fucking required to go see the new Ghostbusters movie for equality of the sexes.
Or their PIGs.
Right. And that can suck my fucking balls.
Oh, he's back!
Bring on the slings and arrows! Boy, Ghostbusters forever!
The most inane, meaningless fucking
I know, it's so
that ever was.
At the end of the day, I look back at that conversation and I'm like, why did I even engage this? Why did I even involve myself in this?
But you have to ask, though, I mean, why it couldn't be done in a direct message. Right?
Are you talking about Lynch still?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what you really got to ask.
He could have texted me. That's my number.
I know.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't think Lynch was coming after me. I think I got wrapped in another conversation with him. But yeah, I don't know. He lives in Hollywood, man. He's got to look. If there's anybody that's got to walk that tightrope, and in this conversation, he's got it. He's out there.
But he has to walk a tighter tightrope than the fucking guy who's on TV 24/7. People assume you live in Hollywood and fly to fucking New York to shoot Impractical Jokers at this point.
Yeah, I know way would he still live in Staten Island.
Yeah, but he's in the middle. I don't want to speak for me though, because what I'm doing now is saying that Lynch is only saying that because he works in Hollywood, and I don't want to say that. He feels that way. He
may really believe such nonsense.
I don't listen. I don't want to.
So are you saying right now, though, I'm just curious, that you're, like, let's say the movie gets fucking great reviews, and it's like, it's every fear that anybody had was put to rest. You still wouldn't go see it?
No, I'll go see it.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's just like I want to see the cast is the least interesting to me. Like, I want to see, like, what do the proton packs look like?
Slimer and shit?
Yeah, like, what is a proton pack?
Slimer better not be a girl.
Well, I think that was one of the things I said.
Wreck house.
They better give him some big tits. Yeah, like, I want to see the technology. Like, that's what interests me about the update. Like, what do the proton packs look like now? What does the Ecto 1 look like now? What car are they going to pick? Shit like that interests me. But the cast doesn't at all.
Isn't it funny, the shit that people get riled up over anymore? It's like every serious topic.
We live in a world where people are getting mass beheaded in the desert.
Yeah.
And fucking people are still, and I'm part of it. I'm part of the problem. We're still fucking talking about the cast of a fucking movie that's getting made. It's crazy.
Well, something close to home happened about a week ago. Unfortunately, Kev's dog Moulder passed away.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, Moulder died.
Oh, that was a good dog, man.
And
Scully passed away a while ago, right?
Yeah, a little while ago. I'll always thank those two dogs too. Kevin bought them when he still lived here.
Yeah. And
this is when we had the other stash, and he would bring them down to the stash and then go to lunch with Jen and leave them with me.
Right.
So I was, they were constantly trying to tear comics up. I would take them for walks. And one time I took them for a walk down by the river here, and there's like this little path. Mm-hmm. And, as we were walking, they brought me, I guess maybe they sensed people were over in this area, and they brought me right to an area where some chick was riding a dude's fucking hard wiener. Yeah. And
in the middle of the day?
It was so weird, man. It was right in the middle of the day.
On?
Yeah, they were eating chocolate assholes. No, they were just going at it, and the girl thought it was funny. Like I was like, oh, I was completely startled, and she thought it was funny. But the guy The guy acted like I was trying to get in on the action. It's like, I'm walking these two dogs. You're fucking in public.
You fucking moron.
Right. Like maybe 15 feet away from the main path.
Right.
Go a little bit deeper into the woods, you know? But I guess Kevin posted a picture of himself and Moulder. And he got called out by people on Reddit for being an attention whore. And there's a website called The Blaze, and it's run by Glenn Beck owns it.
He disappeared.
The headline is remember?
Wow.
I had totally forgot about him too.
I forgot all about that dude. Wow, he fell off the face of the fucking earth.
Big time, yeah. He got out of broadcasting, I guess, and now he has this website, and I guess his other, writing books and all that other shit. But it's like famed director embroiled in controversy, and I was like, how the fuck is that controversial? That Kevin posted a picture of himself and his dog. This is a guy.
Isn't that what social media is for? How could Kevin be the target of that?
Well, Kevin said,
Kitten puts a fucking post of a pizza slice every other day.
Yeah, I know. Ming fucking, it's almost like a flip book. There's so many pictures of him. Like
Ming is we'll get back to Ming.
My point about Kev was like, he said, I wasn't trying to draw attention to myself. It was about my dog who I've had for X amount of years. I think Moulder was 17 or 18. And, of course it sounds like I would just defend Kev to defend Kev, but I was like, this is a guy who fucking shares everything.
Right.
Everything. To call him out on this and be like, he's an attention whore.
This sweet, nice thing.
This. I'm going to share a moment with people about a dog that I've talked about God knows how many times, that he's probably talked about in Smod in terms of having gotten sick, and everything. So something that almost everyone can relate to, having a pet that they care about that died. And I'm looking at this and I was like, we live in a world of fucking total assholes. And that's not to say everybody on Reddit is an asshole, but there are just those people that are just so angry, man, and so with so little to do.
Kevin's a weird target too to go after. Like, why is he the one that people are going after?
I don't know. I thought it was so strange when I heard that.
And there's people who did target him. They move on to somebody else. Somebody else does something, they see it, and they move on.
I wish Kevin hadn't said anything because they didn't deserve a response. They just didn't deserve it. And you're right. Like Kevin said that
for someone to feel superior to say something nasty online and have some level of
Yeah.
If you take,
I showed Kevin Smith, he doesn't know who the fuck I am, nor am I ballsy enough to say who I am.
To me, it's a logic thing too, where it's like, all right, take out the fact that Kevin's a friend of ours and we know him. He's 44 now? 44, 45?
Yeah.
So he's been famous and in the public eye way longer than he hasn't been at this point, right? So this is a man who lives his life in the public eye. Like, what would you expect from him? Like what has he done that's so out of character of someone that's been
it's not like
for decades?
But how many people would do that anyway, though?
That's
how many people who
on Facebook
wouldn't put their hey, I lost my best friend today. How many people do that on a daily basis?
And people are like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, because of who he is, people are like, they're just looking for anything to just be fucking be shitty about.
100%. And it's really shitty to be shitty about that. If you're going to be shitty about something that he did that, you're not crazy about, whatever, go ahead and do it. But something like that, a moment like that, stop being such a fucking scumbag.
Well, that's the internet mentality, man.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. What were you going to say, Q? What were you
going to say about Ming?
If you follow him on Instagram, you see
you didn't forget that. You kept that tucked away.
He's in Chicago. He's in Chicago for the.
Oh yeah, he's doing a con.
He's doing the Walker Stalker con by himself.
I think he's the one to watch, man. I'm telling you,
he's the breakout.
He's making himself into a little cottage industry, and
where's it lead?
I think farther than any of us
to to a Sheraton in fucking Pensacola in a couple years.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, but he's out there creating opportunities for himself. He's out there meeting people. He's out there doing things. I think we all may be eclipsed by Ming Chen.
The one thing that I wish Ming wouldn't do.
Shit with that fucking smile on his face.
I know, you can see it, right?
He throws it out there looking for a catch.
He's going to eclipse us?
Well, I know what he thinks in his head.
Yeah.
He's fucked up, bro. You know for a fact that's what he's thinking.
That's
when
not true.
when he throws that out there to get this, just see if we'll fucking like raw meat. We'll fucking grab it.
Bite already. What's
Yeah, I think Ming should stop every time he meets someone that's even moderately famous. They shouldn't be his new best friend, and if he eats somewhere, they shouldn't be awesome, like the best restaurant ever. You know, it's only so many people can fall into that category before you're judged insincere.
Well, I mean,
Bite.
has he? When can you give me an example of sincerity?
From Ming?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can we pull up his Instagram, see if we can find one?
You mean in real life?
I mean, other than just being like, like the ridiculous, love you, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's so insincere. It's so shallow. It's beyond even commenting about. Like, no one can possibly give that any weight.
Right.
That he likes something, right?
Because he likes everything.
Yes.
And everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's one way to look at it, but another way to look at it would be that he's such a positive guy that he's not even bothering to mention negative things. That, like,
True.
Why would Ming take any time out of his life to
be real?
No, to be negative. He's like, look, I'll tell you about things I like.
No, not liking something isn't necessarily negative.
Right?
Yeah. Heidely ho.
Then that's on a level
Chippity-cho.
no one can relate to, though, then.
Right, because nobody is like that.
Nobody can relate to somebody who's 100% positive constantly, though. You know it's not real. And you're just waiting for that implosion.
But you're saying that he doesn't have behind the scenes or private life implosions. He does. He's just saying, like, look, I'm a positive dude. This is my Instagram
That's
and Twitter.
A shtick.
It's not a shtick. He's just displaying one side of himself as opposed to the whole spectrum.
See, he would say the same thing about, like, what's the guy who played Shane in Walking Dead.
Oh, I don't know his name. But
I don't know his name either. But we met him, and he was very, like, he just, like, blew us off, which expectedly so. I didn't give a fuck. But kind of blew us off, was not overly friendly at all.
Right.
But gets the same treatment as somebody like, say, Reedus.
Oh, really?
Or Steven, who, like, both, honestly, you know, I want to say it, but I mean it, really nice guys. Extremely friendly guys. Yeah, you met Reedus in Secaucus.
Reminded me so much of Muse. Do you get that?
You said it that day, yeah. I don't know.
He had that same, like, oh, hey, man, how you... So unlike his character on the show.
Right.
Like, oh, man, how you doing, dude? Oh, you want some cake? Have some cake. Like, all over the place in a very friendly way, I found them to be.
Yeah. And when I run into him at cons, he seems genuinely, like, pleased to be like, oh, hey, how you been? You know, and you catch up for a couple minutes or whatever. But not everybody is like that. I've met plenty of people who are not like that, you know?
So what you're saying is Ming sucks the dick of Shane as much as he sucks the dick of anybody else?
Yeah, so it's hard to take Ming's opinion.
That I agree with.
You know?
You just don't say... See, in my theory, he just wouldn't say anything about Shane at all. I'm not saying he has to be like, oh, shit, met Shane. He was kind of a fucking prick today.
But then people wouldn't know he met Shane.
Yeah.
And people need to know that.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. On the other hand, people are making him cupcakes.
Caught yourself a Whopper, Walt.
People are making him cupcakes. The S&M show's got cupcakes made for them. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, you're a listener, Q?
No, I follow Ming on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been listening to the pods, huh?
No, unfortunately. As much as I would love to.
Why not?
I just don't have the time.
Oh, yeah, right.
Busy.
You got to drive home right now. Why don't you just load one up on your phone right
pop
now?
on a fucking S&M show.
I got work to do.
Oh,
Listen to
how
beer
can you
and
work
fucking
on the
old
drive
cars.
home, Q?
Telecommuting, stuff.
You have someone here that can...
telecommuting.
He just trails off as he backs away out the door.
Just knock the mic over.
Can I ask something of the ants?
Yes.
Go on.
We have. I'm asking the ants. I don't know when this show will drop through the rest of the week. If they could tweet Audible. What's that? What does that mean right there? What's that little line right there? What's that called?
Oh, audible_.com. Or no, I'm sorry. At audible_com. That's their Twitter.
Audible_com.
At audible_com.
So instead of a dot, an underscore.
Right.
Got it.
If they could tweet Audible and include Declan, DEQUINN.
Yeah.
And let them know that our mystery project is ready, and but this is it'll be ready Sunday. So if we can maybe get the attention of Audible this Sunday going into next week, we may be able to get it up by next Friday.
Oh, whoa!
So
that's going to be fucking huge.
And so I'm imploring I haven't rallied the troops to do anything in a while. Except buy sweatshirts and.
Well, what are we trying to get them to do? Why?
Just let Audible, let them know. That's what I want you. This is what I'm asking the ants to do: to tweet them and also at DEQUINN and say this exact tweet. Hey, at audible_.com. We want the new.
Yeah, no dot.
No dot. We want the new TSD audiobook. Please contact producer DEQUINN. It is ready, but that's Sunday night because they don't fucking acknowledge that Declan exists.
Even though we're already a best-selling author on that thing.
But to Audible's credit, they did. I mentioned this one other time, or a couple weeks ago, and Audible. The ants again. They heeded my plea to let Audible know that they want this new project. Kind of cut the line a little bit,
right.
And Audible was like, "Hey, we're ready for you guys. Let us know what you want to do." And I'm like, "Deck, they're ready." And he's like, "Well, I'm not ready." So we couldn't really do anything. But now we're ready. Sunday night, we're ready.
I can't believe what I've heard of this project so far. It might be the best thing we've put out so far.
Have you heard the opening? Did you?
I heard the opening.
It's Walt played it for me the other day. Oh my god!
You're gonna remember. That I told you fuckers that that pigs could cry.
Yeah.
Well, ants are gonna cry.
Yeah.
Next week.
It's unbelievable.
You told me neither ants nor pigs could cry.
I know we got to get going soon, but I remember something that I wanted to say, if I may have the floor for a moment.
Yes, go ahead.
I almost sent you a text, Walt, the other day, and I was like, you know what? This is something I want to say to the man face-to-face and on the air. Okay. I truly feel in my heart of hearts that for the past year, you have carried this show on your back and not only have done that, but have brought it up to new levels through your creativity, through you've had a renewed passion for the podcast in the past year. You've had a renewed creativity, and I took a little stock over the past year and how busy I was. Brian was dealing with a lot of stuff this past year, and I was like, shit. But tell him, Steve Dave, despite the fact that I was so busy, and despite the fact that Brian was going through so much, blossomed and flourished in 2014, and I was like, that comes down almost solely to Walt.
Well, thank you.
And I was going to send you a text.
I can't agree with that,
well,
but I could appreciate it and say thank you.
And I almost sent you a text, and I was like, you know what? This man deserves to hear it face to face. Dude, it really kind of I was touched. Like I was sitting in my house and I was just thinking about it, and I was really touched and in awe of you and what you've done and how far you've come from not even wanting to do the fucking podcast to now you are really the main you're the main creative force behind the podcast.
I don't agree with that, but I will say yes. I look forward to it. I do think it's fun, and I told this to Brian privately many times. I was like, we have an opportunity to be so creative and do things that I never would have thought we could do, like this Audible project.
Right. Another thing that's 100% your vision.
Right, okay, but we all had a hand in it, though. You had a story in it. Brian had a story in it. You had voice. It's all of us.
Absolutely, but you have been the one. I've seen you flourish creatively over the past year and a half in a way that I don't know. I don't mean this as an insult. That many people would have expected from you, and you've unbelievable amounts of creativity have been coming out of you, from the games you've made to the shows you've planned to the projects that you spearheaded.
All I'm gonna do is replace my name with your name.
This is Ming Chen is fucking taking notes on how to hobnob right here.
This is sincere.
Wow.
This is what Ming Chen will never accomplish. Right. Sincerity.
So
I wanted to say thank you.
Away.
Yeah, Ming would tell Shane the same thing.
I'm blown away by that. I'm touched by that. Thank you.
It was too much for a text. I wanted to say it on air.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think of what you're saying. Walt went from negativity to relative indifference to truly doing shit. Like somebody the other day said something about the MeUndies ad. They said you set the bar even higher.
And
that was because of Walt.
Well, I mean, there's no denying that I found a creative outlet that I had no idea could be achieved through a podcast, though. I didn't want to burden you guys with a lot of the heavy lifting on this Audible project because you guys had Clay to write and everything, and I kind of took. I almost treated it like a gigantic commercial. From making the commercials with Declan, working with Declan so closely on those little commercials.
Right.
I thought to myself, we could do something cool in the realm of fairy re-theater. So that was my inspiration, and when I got involved in doing it, it was super fun. I can't tell you how much I look forward to the ants hearing it, because it is a callback Jizzfest. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. The callbacks are crazy, and it should be, and told in a way that makes sense, I think. Like, the callbacks just don't come out of nowhere like a non sequitur.
Right.
They actually are coherent callbacks,
right,
and enhance the story rather than.
It's not fan service. It's actually
I can't wait for them to hear it, and I hopefully they all get to hear it all for free on Audible's dime.
Right.
That's the way I envision it.
That would be great. Well, don't mention that to Audible, though.
Well, thank you, Walt. That's all I have to say.
We got any ads?
Not that I know of.
I heard we got big ads coming.
We have such we have something,
signed a major deal with a sponsor
that we're turning into so much more than a commercial, so much more than a anyone who listens to what we're doing with this next sponsor and is like, fuck the commercials, you're banned forever. Because you have to be a fucking idiot
for a free podcast.
We'll track them down. It's going to be fucking phenomenal.
We've made it part of the show.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's going to be really fun. So I guess no ads then for everybody.
No ads. So the only homework this week is Sunday night at midnight through the week. Audible _com. NDEQUINN. Let them know you want the new TSD project because it's ready.
Yeah. Quit fucking around. I think I'm supposed to mention this again. Just one more thing.
Bri?
This is an ad. Yeah, why, Bri?
Why, Bri?
And I wrote down I found the
Can you give us
website?
A tease of what one of the stories may be? Just one?
Just one?
Just whet our appetites.
Do you feel pressure to come up with fucked up stories?
No, not really. There's enough rattling around in there.
Right.
I did something recently that is going to be part of it. Let me say real fast. April 17th, where's that? Fort Lauderdale Improv. April 18th, Palm Beach Improv. And April 19th, Orlando Improv. And just go to csma.com/wybry. And the tease is, it has to do with me laughing at someone's death, not knowing that a relative was within within hearing distance.
All right. There you go.
How could you not buy a ticket
Right.
to why, Brian?
Well, the first, you know what? I'll tell that one. The first one that sells out of Palm Beach, Orlando, and whatever the other one was. I'll tell that story. It was pretty fucked up.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, but it was kind of funny too. Oh, wow. Oh. Just got news hot off the wire. Good news that I can't really
I don't know.
say. I don't know.
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah, whatever you may draw, whatever conclusion you may draw from the email that Walt just received, that is very good news.
I will say this: Ming Chen's stock just got a little higher.
Wowee.
Talking about his little stock when he gets this email.
Both his stocks just got a little higher. The Ming train keeps rolling. Beautiful guy. Ever follow Ming on Instagram for many more shots of fucking coffee cups.
Wow! Congratulations on that, Walt.
Wow!
All right.
On that email.
All good news all around.
Oh, God.
Good night.
Dude, that just made my night.
Yeah, I'm feeling
great.
positive. Like, I feel like Ming Chen right now.
Very good.
I love Shane.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. 13%ers, let's go down, come on down. 13%ers, let's go down in the river to pray. Hello, as I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the vest and patch? Batman, show me the way. Oh, demons, let's go down, come on down. Or color, demons, let's go down in the river to pray. What are you gonna do? As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe? I don't know. Good Lord, how would I know? Ha! Oh, let's go down, come on down. Oh, let's go down in the river to pray. Yo-ho. Tell him SteveDave.merchtable.com. Tell him SteveDave.merchtable.com.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.